Understanding by Design, developed by Grant Wiggins and Jay McTighe, is a curriculum planning framework that purposely focuses on helping students understand the big ideas they are being taught and be able to transfer these understandings outside the classroom. Big ideas should allow a learner to make sense of a lot of information. Curriculum planning progresses through three stages, the first of which we're going to look at today. The first stage is determining the desired results. The second is to look for evidence of learning. And the third is developing a learning plan. This backwards design allows curriculum designers to constantly check for curriculum alignment. So first we're going to look at the introductory page. The introductory page is going to give course information and then a unit summary. So looking first at the course information, you can see it's going to be the subject or discipline that they'll be studying, the class name and number, the time frame, the grade level, any keywords, the district or university, the school department, and the type of school, a textbook that is required for the class, and any links to online resource material. If we look at the unit section, you can see you would include the unit title, the time frame, where does this unit fit in the class, how are you going to deliver it? Is it going to be face-to-face? Is it going to be a combination of face-to-face and online? Will it be only online? Or is there another method? And why are you involved in delivering this course? Are you doing it as a course project? Do you plan on teaching the course? Or are you part of a team that's developing the course? And what is your level of expertise for this? Are you the subject matter expert, a future instructor, or the course designer? And finally, you're going to write a unit overview. So this is an overview of the unit that's given in your own words, and you want to keep it simple so that others reading it can understand it. Stage 1 is composed of learning relevant content standards or competencies and using them as guides to develop transfer goals and understandings about meaning. Standards are frequently overarching and ambiguous. They are hierarchical in structure, and they frequently require some interpretation and unpacking to be used effectively. The standards or competencies are intentionally put to the side, as you can see in the transfer section here, on the UbD curriculum planner to make it clear that while they're important to consider, they are not the goal of the unit. The course designer should look to their professional organization for content standards and include these standards and competencies on the form. Including these standards and competencies will help reflect the importance of the content that you are going to be covering. You should also be careful not to plan an entire unit in one sitting. Instead, the knowledge and skills should logically give the student the tools to learn the meaning or understanding in the unit, which will allow them to transfer these understandings outside the curriculum. Periodically, all these components should be checked against these standards to verify alignment. So after we've determined the standards or competencies and listed them, as well as the professional organizations that we have received these standards or competencies from, we're ready for the transfer section. So the transfer goals should lead to specific long-term accomplishments. They should be the goal of an education. An education is only valuable to the student if they learn how to do something in one context and are able to apply it in another context. If you have clearly written transfer goals, students will never need to ask you why they are learning something that they're learning in class. It will be very clear to them what the benefit of learning will be. The concepts will be, and how understanding them will allow the student to benefit in the real world. Students should be able to use their knowledge in real-world situations without someone needing to tell them when and how to do something. Students must mine their knowledge base for what is applicable in a particular situation, apply this knowledge without guidance, and use good judgment while doing so. Transfer goals should be written as students will be able to independently use their learning to. Notice in this transfer goals section, we're going to label the transfer goals, T1, T2, etc. And then we're going to map these transfer goals to the competency codes that we have written above so that we can clearly see that we are meeting these competency goals by determining what transfer opportunities they're going to be able to learn and be able to use outside in the real world. Moving next to the essential questions. Essential questions should be asked throughout the unit to help guide towards understandings. Essential questions are not questions that can be easily answered or that depend on rote memorization. They should be open-ended and have no simple right answer. Essential questions ask the student to think deeper, to question, and to analyze. These questions should be debated and looked at in a number of different ways. Students should be asked to defend their perspective in order to demonstrate that they truly understand what the question is asking. These essential questions should help students find patterns that connect ideas and come up with strategies to be used to solve future problems. These questions should raise other questions in the minds of the student and should be questions that require repeat questioning. These essential questions should lead to the understandings. So essential questions should be put in a question form. They should be thought-provoking, and they're going to foster inquiry, meaning-making, and transfer. You are going to give them codes as well, cue number 1, number 2, etc. And after you write your essential questions, you're going to map them back to the competency codes as well, so that you can track alignment throughout the course. For the understandings, you're going to write what you specifically want your students to understand and what inferences you want them to be able to make. You're going to label them U1, U2, U3, etc. And once again, map them back to the competency code in order to make sure that you maintain alignment. Last is our acquisition section. And the acquisition part of the curriculum planner is where you determine the knowledge and skill goals that the student will strive to obtain in order to master the understanding and transfer goals. The knowledge and skills are not the end goals, just as drills and sports are not the end goal. Knowledge and skills should be effectively utilized throughout the course as building blocks. They should be carefully chosen to make sure they fit the goal of the unit. The knowledge ones should be written as students will know, and these are the facts and basic concepts that the student will know and be able to recall. They are given codes such as K1, K2, K3, and should also, like the other sections, be mapped back to the competency code. The skills are the discrete skills and processes that the student should be able to use, and they should be written as students will be skilled at and labeled S1, S2, S3, etc., and as every other section, be linked back to the competency code. When you have completed this first step in your curriculum mapping, you will clearly know what competencies you want your students to be able to obtain and how you're going to go about doing that, what transfer goals that they're going to carry with them out of the classroom, what essential questions they're going to ask, which are going to lead to the understandings, and what baseline knowledge and skills are they going to have to develop while they're in the class in order to obtain these goals.